Okay, we are live. I'm gonna wait for one more minute, pan around, see if anyone joins, and then we're going to fly today from DCA to Boston. We have full traffic beyond ATC, so it's gonna be like a fully loaded flight with all the bells and whistles, all the settings pushed to ultra. We are running TAA, basically stress testing this system to the max potential. So let's see how this goes. Already loaded the flight plan in, so we are in cold and dark state. We're going to start working with stuff, and I also have MSI afterburner so that we can keep checking on the performance. It seems like it's doing 85 FPS right now with all kinds of traffic going on at DCA and with 300 LOD, I think. Maybe it'll do better. Let's see. No, in cockpit it's only 85. Actually, I don't know if this scenery is already 2024 compatible or not. I'm not sure. But this is not the performance that I was expecting. Anyway, let's see how things develop as we go. Let's load the flight. Actually, you know what? Let me reset the state and then use airline settings here. By the way, just a quick tip on Fenix. Everything that doesn't just load. Sometimes if you don't do this reset state, then you will see that this reading light or whatever it's called, dome light, that stays on. So you might want to just reset the state every time you load, just to make sure that you have a clean cold and dark state. And then also use airline settings here, because sometimes this resets to some weird settings. You might, even though you are using Delta livery, you might have kgs in here. That's not what you want. And then come in here and enable all the radio altimeter callouts. So I think that we are now good. It says delayed because I'm not flying real time. I'm actually flying in the morning because I really wanted to see how the sim looks during the day. Man, I'm getting terrible performance right now. I really don't know if this airport is compatible or not. But anyway, I mean, it's flyable. It's not like, it's not bad. Maybe I can, let's see if I reduce my TLOD, how does that work? Oh, because that's pushed to like 300, so not ideal. But every other setting is ultra. I think that shouldn't be a problem because most of these settings are GPU related. You know what? Let's admire this sim for just a little bit. Holy shit, man. That looks incredible. I flew with Sim Update 2 once and I feel like it's definitely a lot more stable than the Sim Update 2 beta, like the final release. I did a flight from I think it was Denver to Boise, and it performed really well. By the way, look at me, Delta within all the Americans. Who cares though? Anyway, I think it's performing better now with 200 LOD. Maybe I was pushing it too much on TLOD. By the way, if anyone is watching, can you guys tell me if the stream is smooth or are you guys seeing a lot of stuttering going on? Because I am using a bitrate high enough so that when I'm panning around and when I'm switching views and stuff, it looks smooth on the stream and it doesn't look all pixelated. Anyway, let's start. Yeah, so if anyone can comment on that, that'll be great. Let's start loading the aircraft here. GSX, boarding and refueling. and then we'll start prepping. 100 FPS, not bad at all. Yeah, I think it was the TLOD. I think I should start using auto FPS. Auto FPS should really help with this. I don't know, how about we use auto FPS in this, at least in this flight, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Let me open that up. Attach pushback tug, no. Let me open up auto FPS, because I updated auto FPS as well. It did come out with a 0.4.9 update. So I'm hoping that it's gonna be better. So this is my auto FPS settings, by the way. I'm using, what is it, FSR 3. Yeah, that's what I'm using, because you guys know I get a lot of stutters with NVIDIA frame gen. And the FPS target is 120, because that's just how much FPS I usually get. But now that I have traffic, I'm struggling a little bit there. And then what else? I have the TLOD minimum set to 50 and 400. And then base is 500. And then average descent rate is roughly 2000, because that's how much it is roughly with the IFR flights. But that's my auto FPS settings. So right now it's gonna just push my TLOD to the lowest possible, because we are on the ground. So I'm gonna take that on my second screen and minimize it, but we'll keep watching how it performs. So let's get this airplane started. Battery 1, battery 2. By the way, in the last flight that I did, I ran out of fuel. So I landed with like 0.1 EFOB because I had paused the flight, but apparently it consumes fuel when you pause the flight. It's weird. Okay, external power on. It should bring it to life. Let's switch this to inches of mercury. Crew supply oxygen on. Let's go up. Nav. Emergency lights to arm. No smoking lights on, seatbelt signs on, nav lights and logo lights on, and 2 strobe lights to auto. That should do it for our overhead prep. Streaming after a long time. Usually my streams are not that interactive, so I kind of treat it like a video recording. And then if somebody comes in and comments, then I respond. Okay, everything is coming alive. Let's go to, we'll definitely get a delay message on this flight because I'm not flying real time. Okay, I'm gonna take out this frame rate monitor. We'll just check if we see any frame rate issues or stutters. That's when we'll bring it up, because I don't want to ruin the immersion by keeping the frame rate counter on. Okay, MCDU menu. Let's go to the init page, init request, load all of that in. Meanwhile, let's look at what our QNH is today. 2979. Set that in. 2979, and then I think now we can go to our OFP. So our call sign is going to be Delta 764. Cost index is going to be 8, and cruising altitude is 370. I still need to try VR with this new PC. Haven't tried VR yet. Pretty sure it's going to be amazing. I just feel very lazy to try VR, to be honest. Like keeping the headset on, it's just. P2 Simviation says, hey, I love your videos. This is the first time I see you live. Yeah, I don't stream a whole lot because I'm not very good at talking live. Even in my videos, these videos that I record, they're heavily edited because there are so many pauses and so many mistakes that I make while talking, and plus I also talk slow, so I edit out all of those gaps and mistakes and whatnot. P2 Simulation says, are you from India? Yes, I am from India. I am from Gujarat, but right now I am in the US. But yeah, you can probably tell from the accent, I am from India. Okay, so init page is good. Are you from India as well? P2 Simulation. DCA, I know we are going runway 19 and Suki 5 and Swan. Suki 5 and Swan. Nice. By the way, I'm also going to keep my joystick cam on when we take off and land. So I think that'll be fun because I have my phone ready and I also have this Camo Studio app which I can enable and disable the stick camera. P2 Simulation says, I am from India too, but I live in Canada. I struggle in live stream with the exact same issues you have. I feel very embarrassed. Yeah, dude, you should have, like, I was way worse. Like, I remember when I used to record videos for my channel, I think the way this channel started, it was from the PA-28 Just Flight series, and I made this whole series with, I think, the PA-28 Turbo Aero 3. That's where this channel started and took off. But you would not believe, I used to literally go into a freaking closet and record the audio separately on my phone, and then edit the shit out of that audio and then record a bunch of videos. Like, that edit used to take like 2 weeks to edit a 15-minute video. It was insane. Peter was asking, where do you live in the US? I lived in US for 6 years. I come from Odisha. Oh, nice. I live in US and Indiana. Bilaba says, have a nice flight. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. Let's see how the landing goes. I'm always stressed about the landing, especially on live streams. P2 Simulation says, after I found your channel, I felt comfortable knowing I'm not the only Desi flights trying my hand at YouTube. Yeah. In fact, I was thinking whether to... I've seen a lot of Indians actually on my channel, and I was thinking if it's worth doing a Hindi flight sim channel. I don't know. But like, I asked that question, at least it shouldn't be done on this channel, because this channel has been mostly... I think I have a lot of audience from US, and I don't think anybody cares about Hindi flight. Anyway, let me keep prepping. This is what happens on live streams. I get distracted, and then I'll probably mess up my landing as well. So 370 is our cruising altitude, and I also have beyond ATC actually. Let me ask for clearance real quick. ATIS, we have it. Clearance request. IFR clearance. I have auto respond on. So, by the way, can you guys hear beyond ATC? I think I did turn on beyond ATC audio.
Delta 764, Washington clearance, clear to Logan Airport. Suki 5 departure with the Swan transition, then is filed.
Okay.
Via SID. Departure frequency 118.905.
Climb via SID. Okay. Start. This is a really good feature in Fenix, where you just have
Suki 5 departure with the Swan transition, then is filed. Climb via SID.
Okay.
Departure
So
frequency
5,000.
118.905. Squawk 5105. Delta 764.
Squawk 5105.
Read back correct. Contact ground 121.7 when ready for pushback or engine start.
Okay. Peter says, I lived in Atlanta.
Or engine start. Delta 764.
You should switch frequencies, man, because they're gonna keep talking over me. Yeah, let's see. Peter says, I lived in Atlanta, Dallas, and Pittsburgh. Now I'm in Toronto. That's amazing, man. I used to live in Arlington for a while, but then I moved to Indiana for my job. Joshua says, have a nice flight. Can you make video update on settings when you get a chance for SU2? Yes. Actually, I'm not using anything different, and I actually just showed my settings. It's not nothing special really. For the system that I have, I don't think I can do much.
American 555, gate Charlie 25.
Yeah, this thing is going to talk over me all day. You know, how about this? Let me change the frequency to
American 555, Washington ground.
something else until I go to until I need to request for pushback. So yeah, Joshua, settings. It's mostly, you know, it's nothing special really. All of this is like whatever. TAA. I don't use NVIDIA FG because I get a lot of stutters with FG. Right now FSR3 is working great for me, even though it's a 5090 NVIDIA card. I know some people have commented on my video that, oh, dude buys a 5090 and then uses AMD FSR. Well, I don't know what else to do because it just performs better than NVIDIA FG. But yeah, everything else is just set to ultra. Like I don't know, nothing that I can really show there. TLOD is 50 because I'm running auto FPS right now. So auto FPS is setting my TLOD. P2 says, yes, I can hear BATC. Thanks for confirming. Okay, so let's see. How is the boarding going? Ooh. So I need to open the doors myself. Usually it does it. It actually did it. I don't know why the doors didn't open. Is that a... Okay, now it opened up. By the way, look at that animation. You see that little wiggle on the door and then it opens up? Amazing. P2 says, just join your Discord. Yep, I'll join yours as well. Thanks. If you can actually leave a link on the whatever that general chat, I'll also join your Discord. We can also fly together sometime. I don't know. Look at that though. Feel like the traffic sounds are a little too much. Anyway, let's keep going. I think boarding is still getting done. Oh, we don't. Okay, so we don't even have fuel yet. I think they just called in these loaders, and then since the doors didn't open, we just kept sitting around. P2 Simviation says SU2 has done some mess with Fenix. Did it? I was fine on my first flight, but I don't know. Ben is asking, good evening, what NVIDIA drivers are you using? I am using 5.7, whatever the latest one is. Let me check real quick so that you know exactly what I'm on. I am using 576.4. Yeah, 576.4. I think 2.8 was the one before this, and then now I'm using 578.4. Okay, I guess we are going to just wait around for boarding, so might as well go through our taxi route and everything to make sure we know what we're gonna do. So we are here, so we're probably gonna take either Kilo or Juliet to Juliet 19. Peter says, sure, I'd love some group flights. Yeah, one of my other friends also fly with me. If you've been here long enough, you'd know Rahul. We fly together sometimes. It's been a while though since we have done a flight, but it's fun. Actually, that makes me think we should probably do a live stream this weekend in New Zealand. P2 says, I got the Moza AB9 base and the stick. It's such a different experience. Damn, dude. I think I bought this Ursa Minor stick a little bit early. Like I should have waited for all these force feedback stuff, but I didn't wait, and now all of that force feedback yoke and whatnot came right out after I bought this stick. This stick is actually really good though, not complaining. But I could have thrown some money and gotten something different. Ben says, I'm hoping Fenix drops the BFU. Oh yeah. I think they were waiting for... Weren't they waiting for the final release of SU2 and then they were going to drop BFU? That's what I read last, but maybe I'm wrong. Peter says, I found your channel last week through an Airbus landing shot you did. Yeah, those shots are doing really well. They're actually very easy to record too. Like I can just record a 4K video, like normal 16:9 4K video, and then I can just edit that into a vertical video. Let's look at it from the outside. Very smooth, you see that? I'm by the way, on traffic I'm running 555 because there is no point of running 10. It's a lot of traffic when you push it to 10, but you'll just see you'll see a big performance drop, and you'll not even get a gap to ask for clearances and taxi clearances and stuff like that. So Ben says, so it is closed then. Sorry, what was that? I forgot what the context was for that. P2 says, I have Ursa Minor and TM Stick 2. I love the Ursa Minor. I also have Honeycomb, Bravo and TM pedals. That is nice, dude. Yeah, same. I have Honeycomb, Bravo and but I have the Winwing. I have the Winwing pedals. Not gonna lie, Winwing pedals are amazing. I had TM pedals before, and Winwing pedals are really good. So we still have fueling left. Man, this looks amazing. Like the smoothness is also great. By the way, on stream, I hope it's also smooth and it's not stuttery on stream. Peter says, I used to do landing shots on YouTube last year. Haven't done any this year. Yeah, I sometimes, like, I used to do some last year, but then I stopped doing it. I don't know why. Because actually they were doing really well. They do better than normal videos. But, oh yeah, I remember. I think the problem was that they're not very good at getting subscribers. They're really good at just getting reach. But then people don't really connect with you. I feel like live streams are the best to actually connect with people. Ben says BFU. Oh yeah, so it's close. Yeah, definitely it's close. I'm hoping that they'll probably do like end beta testing for like a week or so and then put it out for people. I'm really, really excited for that one. Because I think the thing that excites me most about BFU is they're going to change the landing, the stick inputs needed for landing. Just when I learn how to land Fenix, they're going to change it now. But it'll at least be more realistic. Because I feel like the way it feels right now, it's just not natural. It doesn't feel natural at all when you're in that flare phase. J. Russ says, after the update, the sim was stuttering a lot. Then remember to update DLSS through DLSS swapper. Also make sure to update NVIDIA driver. Dang it. So I didn't do the DLSS swapper thing. Man, I should have done that before this flight. But I can at least check. If I have the most updated files. I thought that was no more needed. Okay, yeah, I do have the updated stuff. Okay, that's actually 2024. Yeah, I do have the updated files. So nice. I didn't miss out on that. J. Russ says really good now. Yeah, thanks. I was just worried that it looks good to me, but I don't know how smooth it is when I'm streaming. P2 says, yes, exactly. I don't get subscribers from shorts. I did a few streams, but my accent made me feel conscious. Yeah, man, I don't know. Like, some people have commented about my accent, but I think you just have to, accept it, make a joke about it, and move on, I guess. I have a very thick Indian accent as well. The first time someone listens to me, they'll tell that I'm Indian, but I've just accepted it. Like, whatever, who cares? Just do your thing. In the grand scheme of things, honestly, like, it's so, like, it doesn't matter. Think about it. You're here in this world for a very short time, and if you keep worrying about these kind of things and not doing what you actually want to do, I don't know. I feel like I don't want to regret that I didn't do this when I'm like 50 or 60. That, hey, I should have started streaming when I was 25, or I should have made a YouTube channel or worked on it when I was 25 or 30, whatever. So, yeah. P2 says, haters gonna hate, potatoes gonna... Yeah, that's true. Harshit says, hello. Hey. So we have a lot of Indians today. That's fun. J. Russ says, who judges an accent? Come on, man. You do you, and whatever happens. Yeah. I mean, you won't believe, but unless you start uploading... when you start uploading videos, you really realize how petty people can be about these kind of things. Like, I know I've gotten comments like, I think the other day someone commented that bro is trying to scam me with that accent. Like, I totally get that joke. Like, I chuckled. But yeah, like I said, man, like, people will call you scammer, and people will call you curry and all these things. Like, you just ignore, not even ignore, just chuckle. Because if you can't laugh at yourself, you can't do anything. Like, that's when you win, is when you're able to laugh at yourself and just move on. Okay, so loading is done. Sync load sheet, sync live weather, calculate, send to MCDU. So all of that is good. So I think our FMC should be prepped, or MCDU. Flaps 1 and trim down 0.5. Okay, I think we should be able to get on to the ground frequency and ask for pushback. But before that, let me get my APU on. So beacon lights on, and wait for 3 seconds. APU on. P2 says, you're really inspiring me to get back to streaming. Yeah. Also, pro tip, have some caffeine before you stream. Because I am, being very honest, I am a very, very, very low energy person. Extremely low energy person. Like, I cannot even think about streaming without it. Today I had a lot of pre-workout, so I was like, yes, that today is a good day to stream. When you have enough pre-workout, man, like, different level of energy. That's how I like to stream. P2 says, people are hilarious. Yeah. I've gotten so many of these Indian jokes that I then tell my wife that, hey, someone commented this, and then we laugh together. It's fun. P2 says, I've got hate comments too, and I don't even have 200 subs. Yeah. And sometimes it's not even about your content. It's directly about something like this, which you cannot change. But yeah, thank you guys for keeping the chat alive today. It's a lot of fun to stream when you have someone commenting. I used to stream before, but didn't have a lot of subscribers, so I didn't, like, once you have like 2,000, 5,000 subs or something like that, then people start hopping into the stream And honestly, like in the stream, I don't really care right now about how many likes I'm getting and subscribers and shit like that. I just want to fly and have fun, interact with people, have fun. It's a nice Thursday evening. Okay, I think fueling is done. Let's turn on all the fuel pumps and get on the frequency. I will get my what do you call it, the stick cam on in just a little bit after we get to the ground frequency and get the pushback clearance. 1 to 1.7, request push and start.
Delta 764 at gate Delta 40, request pushback.
P2 says
64, Washington ground,
let them
pushback
speak.
and engine start approved.
Okay.
East.
Pushback and engine start approved. Face east, Delta 764.
Face east. Okay. Okay, time to move on from this frequency and get back when we need to get taxi instructions. So transponder to on and then TARA. Okay. Let's get the APU bleed on. Let's get the external power disconnected. And let's request for pushback. Okay, getting back to chat again. I have got hate comments too. No, I can't even imagine getting 5,000 subs. I would go nuts if I get 500, dude. I would have never thought that my channel would have these many subscribers. By the way, if anyone is watching, go subscribe to P2 Simviation. It's only 9 people, but whatever, you know. Let's watch this from outside. You know what? I'm not happy with this time. We're gonna do a little bit. Man, that looks incredible. I wish I had NVIDIA filters, dude. Like, NVIDIA filters don't work anymore with this NVIDIA app. You have to use GeForce Experience to get NVIDIA filters. It's really annoying. The only 2 filters I have is RTX Vibrance, and there was some other one. So I just disabled the overlay. Harshit says your tutorials regarding performance and all was really helpful. Yep, thanks man, thanks. Just hoping everyone enjoys this sim. No matter what setup they have, you know, because you can always optimize. I have started from a 780 GTX, used to be GTX at that point, GTX 780. That was my first graphic card, I remember. Okay, so what is it? Nose left, nose right. I think it's nose right. Okay, ignition. Let's start engine 1. Harshit says try reshade instead of NVIDIA filters. That's a good idea. I know there's a channel called Mr. Saturday, and he uses reshade and his sim looks really good. I hate this orangish look that the sim has. It looks terrible. I hate it. But yeah, maybe I should figure out reshade. I've used it before. I just didn't keep it. Man, it looks so good with all this traffic though. That's fun. And also it's performing well, so I'm happy with that. By the way, I am using auto FPS in case anyone joined late. Augusto says, don't worry about your accent. It's 3 in the morning and I'm listening to you. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. I feel like there are some people on my channel like absolute sweethearts. They've I've seen them comment on my channel since I had 1,000 subscribers, and Like, I don't even treat anyone as if they are my subscribers. Like, they are just all, you know, real people, real, you know. Harshit says, damn, GTX days. Yeah, man, I still remember that old build, like terrible cable management, and oh, forgot to start engine 2, of course. Parking brakes on. I love watching these guys do their thing. GSX. Let's watch that. Man, like, look at that detail. Like, every panel is so well done on Fenix. Look at that. Like, on 4K, you can actually tell how good the modeling and texturing is. I'm running 4K, but I'm downscaling the stream to 2K. But I'm guessing that you guys are probably able to see the same kind of detail. P2 says, I love Mr. Saturday. He's so amazing. Yeah. I think his channel is highly underrated. He should have had way more subscribers than he does. But I think he just started uploading regularly. So I think his channel will definitely grow. Like, he's in the algorithm. I think he'll definitely blow up. He just needs like one good video that'll blow up. Another channel that I really like is OwlzyFC, or I forgot the exact name, but it's something like OwlzyFS, I think. OwlzyFS. I was just watching his stream right before I started streaming. Captain Ronate says, I love your videos. I'm a Latino and I have an accent too. I don't feel ashamed. Yep. That's the way to go, man. Like, everyone is not going to be a native speaker, and unless you're a native speaker, you will have some kind of accent, and that's totally fine. As long as you're reasonable with the grammar, and heck, even that doesn't matter. As long as people get what you're trying to say, that's all that matters. Captain Ronate says, can't wait for the Fenix A321 Neo. Oh yeah, that's coming. That's coming end of this year, right? I think it's going to be a big one. But before that, I really, really want the BFU. Wait, did I select the right runway? Okay, let's prep for takeoff and then we'll call for taxi. Okay, so you know what? Let me set up my camo camera so that you guys can see my stick. Flight stick, I mean. Let's see. Camo camera, select my device. Pixel 8. Okay. Adjust it to that, and then increase the brightness a tad bit, and there you go. Fancy. We're getting fancy. Is the audio and everything fine? Like, am I too loud or something? Hopefully you can all hopefully see the flight stick. Hi. British 999 says, are you using GSX for ground crew? Yes, I'm using GSX for ground crew. Okay, let's set up the flaps 1 and down 0.5. Down 0.5. Augusto says, I have Morinho accent. How does that sound? I need to look that up. Auto brakes to max, cabin check, and that's it, I think. Takeoff config normal. Let's switch to ground and request for taxi.
Delta 764, request taxi.
Delta 1193, hold position for traffic. I'll call you back.
I'm gonna go back to the chat in just a little bit.
Delta 1193.
United 1793, contact Washington Tower 119.1.
Over to Tower 119.
See, that's why I don't keep the traffic to max, because they will not respond to me if
Delta
it was max.
1193, continue taxi.
There's already too
Continue
many
taxi,
airplanes.
Delta 1193.
Come on.
Delta 764,
Nice.
runway 19er taxi via Kilo 1 Kilo.
Okay,
Hold
what's
short
that?
runway 15.
So that's Kilo
Runway
1,
19er
so that's
taxi
this
via
one,
Kilo 1, Kilo.
and then Kilo
Hold
is
short
this
runway
one,
15,
and
Delta
then we need to hold
764.
short here. Okay, not bad.
Endeavor 5272, cross runway 15 at Kilo.
Okay, now I really
Continue
will have to
taxi
stay
via
on the
Kilo,
frequency,
Sierra,
because
Juliet.
by the way, is
Cross
my
runway 15 at Kilo.
okay
Continue taxi via Kilo, Sierra,
APU
Juliet.
off. Let's
Endeavor
turn the APU off,
5272.
and then let's also have the taxi lights on. Everything else
Southwest
is good.
450, continue taxi.
I'm gonna get back to chat right
Continue
after
taxi, Southwest 450.
this woman clears me for the runway.
Brickyard
Before we get
5770
transferred to tower.
At gate Charlie 26, request pushback and engine start.
Endeavor 5272, contact Washington Tower 119.1.
I am Jose Marino.
Over to Tower 119.1.
I really need to
Endeavor
look up what this
5272.
accent is. Man, I feel like I'm missing out on chat
Brickyard
because of this sim.
5770, Washington
Should have just
ground,
flown without
pushback
beyond it.
approved.
Holy shit, look at that line. Are you kidding me?
Pushback approved. Face east.
These guys are gonna hold me back.
5770.
Blue Streak 5190,
Captain Ronate says
Echo
traffic
55
injection
taxi via
in
Alpha,
BATC
Juliet.
is always crowded.
Hold
Yeah,
short runway 4.
this is just 5. Traffic is set to 5, not even
Gate
10.
Echo 55 via Alpha, Juliet. Hold short runway 4, Blue Streak 5190.
Harshit says almost everything is 2x the price
Blue
and
Streak
rarely
5190,
available.
cross runway
Man,
4 at
that's such a
Juliet.
pain. Like
Continue
I've
taxi
heard
via
this from
Juliet, November,
my
Sierra.
friends in India. It's a pain. It's a real
Cross
pain to
runway
get
4,
hardware.
Juliet. Continue taxi via Juliet, November, Sierra, Blue Streak 5190.
I feel like India has a okay, what the heck? Fatal error has occurred and Beyond ATC must quit now. If you are deep into the flight, we realize this must be frustrating. Please keep in mind the point of early access is to find and address these very issues. If you can please hop into our Discord channel and share your player log, we'll get it fixed. Well, problem solved. Beyond ATC is crashed. I'm just gonna keep it off. Let's just fly. Harshit says I am also from Odisha. Also P2, hence the missing H in my name. Oh, I didn't catch that. Sorry about that. I didn't catch that. K1. That's K1, right? Yeah, that's K1. I guess it doesn't matter now. Harsit. Is it Harsit then? Or is it still pronounced as Harshit? But then you write it as Harsit. Bhubaneswar, nice. Well, you guys are gonna find some friends on my stream. This is going to be a nice short flight, man. I'm going to stream again this weekend, and maybe I can put it out earlier, like schedule it earlier or something. I want to fly out of New Zealand. Maybe do like NZWN to NZAA, because I have both of those sceneries and both of them are compatible with MSFS 2024. So it's gonna be fun. Yeah, and we are landing at Boston today. I wish I had the the overlay on, but I think it's too much. I feel like leaving the stream as is, like, you know, nice and clean, with just the sim mostly showing up, instead of crowding it with a lot of overlays and whatnot. In fact, I'm going to even turn off my stick cam unless we are taking off or landing. But well, Beyond ATC solved our problem by just crashing. Otherwise we would have waited there for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes just to get clearance. Yeah, I like pronounce it as but I have to write it as Harsit, cause that's how it is in the official docs. And talk to me about different names in official docs. Okay, lights to take off. Don't think we need runway turn off lights, so we'll leave it that way. And we are going to fly this airplane manual at least up to 10,000 feet because it's fun. All right, let's go. Takeoff thrust set. We are a little bit skewed on the runway, but we'll adjust. Oh, hang on. P2 says, I think your sim sounds are a bit too low. Huh. Let's fix that. I think I know why. Because I have it turned down in both Discord and in here. So let me open up the volume mixer and then turn it up here to maybe like 40, and I want this takeoff to be perfect with the right sounds and everything. How about now? Harsit says, I am an engineering student in Manipal. Dude, you're not gonna believe it. I have done my engineering from Manipal as well. That's where I was. Much better. Nice. Augusto says, press the chrono. Always forget that. Where is it? Oh, right there. Sounds much better. Nice. Let me maybe push it a tad bit more, and I'll leave the mixer on the other screen so that I can keep adjusting if you guys say it's too much. 50. I made it 50. I just want to make sure it doesn't clip. I think that's good. Yeah, I've done my engineering at Manipal. Which block do you live in? Do you live in 10th block? Do you live in 14th or 15th? Let's get geeky about Manipal. Okay, let's go. Flex. CFM takes a while to ramp up. Whoa, those sounds, man. Let's go, sim update 2. Positive rate, gear up. Like I said, we're going to fly this manual until 10,000 minimum. See how that feels, and I'll leave the stick cam on so that you guys can see my stick movement. And I think that's too much sounds for me, so I'm going to reduce that to 30 because I think the juice is done. Harshit says, I started with block 17, then block 9, now I live outside. Nice. Okay, climb thrust Reset. I used to live in block 15. 15 and 14. I think 2 years 15 and then 2 years 14. But yeah, it's nice to see someone from Manipal. Let's see what our auto FPS is doing. Is it even working? Okay, it increased my TLOD to like 52. What the heck? Maybe I should reduce the frame target on there. Yeah, I think that's the problem. My frame target was too high. Yeah, too high. So now the LOD increased to like 120, 150, 200, getting close to 200. Oops. Okay, flaps up. Look at that. Holy shit. Holy shit. My sim has never been this good. It's so much fun to fly this thing manual. Oh, actually now we can just go to whatever our cruising altitude was. I think 370. So much fun to fly this manual, man. Okay, flaps up, ground spoilers can be disarmed, and we'll keep flying manual. Harshit says, damn topper. No dude, I did terrible in my first year. I think second year onwards I caught up and I was pretty much always 8.5 plus GPA. First year was terrible though. I used to hate all those physics, chemistry, English classes. Like, why did I come to an engineering college if I had to repeat all my 12th standard classes again? Like, that was really annoying. So I think I got some 7 or 8 GPA or some shit like that, and then after second year when the actual subjects started, it was fun. Loopson is asking, do you have a tiller? No, I do not. I'm using my rudder pedals as the tiller. Augusta says, I don't want to sound itchy, but you need to pull the stick a bit until and then call 100 knots. Yeah, I should have called 80 knots check and then V1 rotate, all of those call outs. I didn't do any of that. Ultra realism, insane realism stream. P2 asks, you have a 5090? Yes, I am on a 5090 right now. I had a, okay, 10,000 feet, lights off, seatbelts out, and that should be all. Maybe no smoking can also go to auto. Not a very long flight, so we should be at the cruising altitude pretty soon. Okay, let's just enable autopilot now. I think we are good. Yeah, we are going ultra realism in the, by the way. So right now, oh, let me also turn off the stick cam because now it's not needed. So right now my auto FPS has increased the TLOD to 400, and OLOD I have fixed it to 200. I don't let it mess with OLOD and with clouds because I want ultra clouds all the time. All I wanted to do is mess with TLOD. So if you look right now, this is TLOD of 400, and this is how it looks like with TLOD of 400. Like you can see autogen up to like this point, up to somewhere here. See that? There's still some popping going on, but we'll see how Boston performs. I'm excited to see how Boston performs, but I can see buildings up until like maybe like this point. After that it's all scattering, so it doesn't even matter. But 400 LOD looks freaking insane when you're at like 5,000 feet and lower. P2 says baller, bro. I don't know, dude. It has taken a while to get to a point where I can afford this kind of PC, but it was always my dream since childhood to build a PC like this. So I'm nothing but grateful and thankful. I'm gonna reduce the sounds a bit until we get to landing, so that I can hear myself and you guys can also hear my voice more than. What was our cruising altitude? I just put in some random. Okay, 370. Did I put in 370? Yeah, okay. It was 370. Fly with TY says, still mad there's no weather radar in the Fenix yet. Then my sim would be crazy. I thought they released an update which had weather radar, no? I really thought that it had weather radar. Maybe not. Like, what if I increase the gain? I mean, right now there's no clouds. I can bet I've seen weather radar. Maybe I'm wrong. P2 says, today I forgot to get the gear up till flight level 220. I've done that multiple times. I've done that so many times when I try to record. Let's go standard here. I've done it so many times when I try to record this thing, like a takeoff video or something, and then I realized that in admiring the scenery and stuff, I didn't get my gear up until like 18,000 feet, and then I'm looking at the speed strip here, and I'm like, why are we limited in speed to like 280 knots or something like that? And then I realized after like 2 to 5 minutes of thinking that, oh, the gear is down. I've done it so many times. Captain Rona says, how can you set it up so it doesn't touch your TLOD? I mean, if you set it up to not touch your TLOD, I don't know why you would even keep it on, right? Like, you can probably just make this values the same, and then it will not mess with your TLOD at all. But then if you want to, max out VRAM or something, because they have another setting here for a max VRAM target, you can probably use that. Now, why did this thing change to 50 again? See, this is one problem that I have. If I change anything in here, it just changes it to 50. I don't know why. And then when I change this to 200, it's back again. But I don't want this to be 200. I want this to be 50. Okay, now it's back. But every time I change something there, it just messes up my base settings. Augusto says 400 is great, especially at night. I agree. Yeah, night, it's actually more important to have higher TLOD at night, because that extends the lights to a certain distance. It still kind of looks funny on the horizon. If you have a city on the horizon or something, it just has those weird blurry light textures. But then the more TLOD you have at night, the better. Definitely agree. It matters more at night than during the day. Harshit says, nah, BFU will get the weather radar. Oh, okay. Well, that's good at least. We'll have weather radar at BFU. By the way, why am I not... Oh, okay, I see. Okay. Maybe I didn't remove the discontinuity here. JFK, there's a flight. Okay. Boston, I didn't select the arrival. That's why. So let's select the arrival real quick. Routing and impacts. We are going 04 right. Roebuck 3 and JFK. 04 right. Usually I get JFN 2. And now let's also remove any discontinuity. Probably not gonna be any discontinuities, but just in case. Yep, No discontinuity. So we should be good now. We have a long ass climb here. That's the CFMs for you. P2 says 12 viewers. Yeah. It's more important to have viewers like you who actually interact than have just viewers. Because otherwise this stream is really boring. Like what I used to do, I remember when I was streaming, when I had less subscribers, I would just set it up to cruise and then I would just work on something else. And then if someone shows up, I would answer the questions. Otherwise, and that's why I like doing short flights like these, so that people don't have to sit around and watch the airplane just cruising. That's really boring unless you have like 100, 200 viewers like Captain Canada has or Aussie FS has. Then it's fun because then you're just interacting and having actual conversations. Like today it's really a lot of fun. Harshit says you're passing batch in MIT 2017. Why not create a Discord server for group flights? I think I already have one. There's a general group flight server. I'm just so bad at maintaining my Discord. Like, I've been terrible at maintaining Discord. I barely get on there. Sometimes someone asks something and I see it after like a week, and they would have probably left the Discord by that time. P2 says I play NCS music during cruise to not be bored on streams. Yeah, I used to do that too. I used to keep some piano music or something on, so that if at all anyone's watching, they'll at least have something. But nothing like having interactive viewers. That's the best. I know that NCS channel. I've used a lot of their work. Yeah, we both have Discord. Yeah, just like when me and Rahul are streaming. Rahul is a friend. He's also from MIT, by the way. We know each other from MIT. So when we are streaming, we usually just get on this Discord. Let's look at it from the outside. Reset the view, remove this blurry stuff. Damn, dude. Look at that detail. Like TLOD of 400 is no joke. Like you can see everything so sharp. You know what? I'm gonna go check weather at Boston before landing, just so that I know what we are getting into. Aussie FS is here. Holy shit. What's up, man? I hopped into your streams a couple of times in these last 2-3 days. How are you doing, dude? Whoever's watching, if you haven't checked out Aussie FS, I think his streams are really entertaining. Because there are a lot of people talking about stuff. I think he's also doing his flight training. So it's a lot of fun to watch his streams. I watch it when I'm at the gym or doing some work on the side. It's fun. One of the few FS streamers that I love watching. Did you finish your flight? Oh, actually, yeah. When I hopped into your stream, I think you were 30 minutes away. So hopefully you had a good A350 landing. Think we got the weather, did we? Weather data 1503 knots. Oh, thank fuck. No winds. Hopefully I won't mess up the landing on stream. 29883 scattered at 13 and broken at 10,000. Nice. So we have a really nice weather. We have a good weather. Aussie FS says, I appreciate that. Floated all the way to last bar. Dude, I have tried A320 a couple of times. You can find those 2 shots on my channel, and not gonna lie, I floated on both of them up to the last bar. But the interesting part is this airplane is really very good at stopping quickly. So even though I landed on the last bar, it somehow still made it. I somehow still made it on my BTV exit. I'm doing great. You had to catch you live. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot for hopping in. I appreciate you hopping in and spending time here. Wait, did my sim fucking crash? Oh my god, please don't crash. Holy fuck, dude. What the fuck? What the fuck, man? No shot, this thing crashed, man. Like, come on. Aldi says it's perfect in terms of handling. The A350 is very large. It's got massive control surfaces. Airbus tried to make it fly like it. But yeah, I agree. That's what I heard from one of the real world pilots. Is that it's surprisingly responsive for being that big. By the way, Alzi, how's your training going? I finished my PPL last year. And when you were talking about those flights getting cancelled because of weather, totally feel it. I had to spend so much extra money just to stay current through all this weather that came in. Yeah, I guess we got our first SU2 crash, so definitely. If I would have finished this flight, I was going to say SU2 is really stable, and at least in terms of performance, it was stable. At least in terms of performance, it was stable. It just crashed. I don't know. I don't know why. Well, what do we do now? I was thinking we check out the Just Flight PA-28 Aero 3. Or not Aero, but actually the Warrior. Let's do some general aviation flying. What do you think? Let's do some nice GA flying. That'll be fun. Aussie says, oh, congrats, man. Been waiting for my solo check. 3 cancelled flights this week. Dang it. Yeah, for me, it was getting to solo was really quick because flight simming really helps there. But then things really slowed down after my, I think, stage 2 check is when things really slowed down, because I had to swap instructors because the instructor that I was working with left. Obviously, everyone is trying to hit the 1500 flight hours and just get out of there, right? So my instructor left, and then I had to get used to the other one because I'm kind of an introvert. So it took me a while to like open up to the other one, and then I was always nervous, so I would make some silly mistakes, like not doing the steep turn. I think the one maneuver that I would have struggled with the most, let me see. I think it was short field landings. Short field landings were very challenging for me, because I was always the guy who would like float the shit out of my airplane just to get a smooth landing, and Cessna stopped really quick, so it didn't matter if I floated it. Where should we do GA? I don't know where's the best place to do GA. Maybe we can check out Sedona. Maybe Sedona has a good GA. Either Grand Canyon. Maybe we should do Grand Canyon. I think that's the best. Let's do Grand Canyon. But I don't know if this airplane will be able to fly that high. Let's see. Alzi says, I was ready to do my solo 61 flight school. Went through 3 instructors, was tired of all of the random changes and switches, moved to a 141 school, and had speed run back to solo status in 2. Damn, dude, how many hours do you have so far? Right now I am at somewhere between 60 to 70 hours. I don't remember, but I pretty much stopped flying after finishing my PPL because I wasn't working towards my instrument. So I thought I'll just take a break, and then maybe when I get the motivation back, I'll work. Oh, Alzi says Mexico. You want to fly Mexico? Like where? Tell me an airport. Alzi says 27, almost 30. Yeah. I think you can still finish it in 60 hours. 60 hours is a really good number if you finish it within that. P2 says, I got 2 cats recently. I named them Piper and Cessna. We were thinking of getting a cat, but then... Oh, you know what? How about we do Key West? And then we start from Key West and go to Miami and admire those beaches and stuff. I think that will look really good with high TLOD. I think that will look really good. So let's spawn in real time at Key West. It's this one. And then go from there to Miami. I think that'll be fun. Loopson says I would have said that was caused by auto FPS. It could be. It could definitely be auto FPS. P2 says Piper is the boy, Cessna is the girl. Their photos are on my Discord. I'm gonna check it out. Alzi says I should be able to this summer. Gonna grind out a ground course as well as fly a lot more during the week. Yeah, good luck, man. I started with the ground course so that at least if I'm done with my hours, I'm not limited by not having given the ground exam. So ground exam should be really easy for you. I think you are going to nail the ground exam very easily. Okay, let's spawn in. Let's change the time to, I don't know, morning or something. We'll have some fun with GA. And I think I'm gonna take Loopson's advice and turn off auto FPS. That's just one more program that can cause crashes. I don't know. Yeah, definitely not flying at night. That's annoying. Okay, let's change this to day. By the way, this thing just got released a couple of days back, and let me talk a little bit about this airplane. So this was, well, not actually not the Warrior version, but PA-28 Aero 3 is the one that this channel actually started with. So it's a lot of fun to go back to this variant of the airplane to fly. And let me quickly paste the link of the playlist that I had with this airplane. It was one of the first videos that I had made, or one of the first series that I had made. Piper Aero 3 tutorial series. Yep, this one. And this is the series I was talking about, where I used to like go into my closet and record audio first, and then edit the whole audio and then record the video and slap it on top of it. It was the most inefficient way to record videos, but we all start somewhere, and then now I think I have a process. I think it's still not very efficient, but we have some process. Okay, so how about this? We're going to do a real world procedure and stuff. So the first thing that you do is come in and check documents. They also have a nice little checklist here. That's pretty cool. Let's just follow that, I guess. Control wheel is fine. Avionics is off. So avionics switch on this airplane is here, I think. Kind of forgotten this airplane. Yeah, that's the avionics switch. And we're going to remove these yokes because it's a pain to. Master switch on. So master switch is here. Master switch on. Fuel quantity gauges check. Let's see how much fuel we have. So right, left, we have full fuel. We are good. Master switch back to off. We are just going to follow this to the T. Ignition off. Yes, it is. Exterior check for damage. Control surfaces. Okay. So let's do a quick and dirty walk around and remove all our wheel chokes and tie downs and stuff like that. So we usually start at this point here, and let me reduce my camera speed because it's literally flying me around. I don't know. Or what we can do is just actually use the MSFS features. Why not, right? Okay, so you start from here. Usually some airplanes have like a cargo bay on this side, or whatever, storage area on this side. So you make sure that is locked. You make sure you run your fingers down this front part of the elevator and make sure that is nice and clear. There's no dents or any kind of obvious damage. Then you come in back here and make sure that your control wheel locks are off, and then with your hand just gently move the elevator up and down to make sure that the movement is free and there's no locking happening there. And I don't think we have do we have a tie down at the back? We don't. Okay. And rudder, I would say don't touch the rudder, because rudder is also linked to your front landing gear, and you don't want to mess the rudder up by like pushing on it or anything. So it says no push, and that's why, because it's linked to the front landing gear. So on this one you have the cargo door here, so you can make sure that is locked, and then make sure that the flaps are also locked into place. And then same thing on the ailerons, make sure that I think ailerons I used to push it, but I don't know why it says no push on this as well. But yeah, I used to move the ailerons inside. You'll see that your yoke moves as well. I can't do it in this sim, but. And then we can remove the chokes. I guess I'm not able to get my mouse pointer, so I don't know where my mouse pointer went, but we can remove the chokes and stuff from the inside. So once you come here, just drain some fuel from the bottom and make sure that it doesn't have water in it. Usually water will settle at the bottom of your beaker or whatever you're using to drain the fuel. And then you come in here, you open the cap, check the fuel quantity, make sure it matches with what you saw inside. Once you're done with that, just run your fingers down the wing, make sure there's no damage anywhere. You would also ideally turn the master switch on, get the airplane fully lit, and make sure the lights are working as well. We're not doing that, but just a note there. And then you come down here to the spinner, make sure that all these screws that are there on the spinner, by the way, really good texture work, but I feel like it can be a little bit better. Like for example, if I really zoom in, right, these screw textures are not the best. Like if you look at your Fenix model, I would say it's really high quality. This is not bad at all. I wouldn't say this is bad. It's just it can be way better. So yeah, you just check for these screws, run your fingers down the prop as well, make sure that you see that. So this logo can be a lot more crisp. So you run the fingers down on the prop, make sure that everything is good there. You also check the alternator belt, which you can see from the front here. Make sure that is tight and snug. There's no wear and tear on the belt and it's not broken. You also make sure that there hasn't been a bird nest or something that is built up in this engine compartment, because believe it or not, I've seen videos where you can literally find bird nest in this front compartment. And then you bend down and make sure that this silver suspension that you see on the front nose landing gear, that has at least like 2 fingers or 3 fingers of distance between like the gear and the top part, so that you know that your suspension is actually extended, it's not like pushed in or something. And then you come here, there's a static port, that black thing down here, you check that. Also, while you're here, I don't see an engine check compartment here, but anyway, you open up that, make sure that the oil is good and everything. If the oil is like black, you might want to top it up or add new oil. You do all that, then you come here again, drain fuel from this tank as well, because it's 2 different left and right wing tanks. And then you come in here again, measure the fuel, physically measure the fuel, make sure it matches with what you saw for the left tank. Remove the chokes and tie downs, come in here again, check the lights, make sure you check the control surfaces and flaps, because flaps are also different left and right, so make sure that the flaps are nice and locked into the position. And that finishes the walk around, not work around. Now I can just get in and move on. Exterior control surfaces, all of this is good, so we checked pretty much all of this. Then I can just move on. So walk around is done. Now before start checklist. Brakes are set, yes. Parking brakes are set. Carb heat is full off, it is. That's the silver knob right here. Fuel selector set to desired tank. We'll drain from the left first. Radios are off. They are throttle 1/4 inch open. So let me figure out which one is my mixture and stuff. Okay, this is my mixture and this is my throttle. Okay. So we're going to open throttle 1/4 inch. Master switch to on. Electric fuel pump on. And we'll see that the fuel pressure will show up as soon as I push my mixture. So fuel pressure is in green. That's good. And then starter engage, throttle adjust, oil pressure check. Okay, let's start this thing up. And let me actually push my sounds up a tad bit on this thing so that you can hear the sim better. Volume mixer 40. I think that's good. And then I'll adjust as we go. Okay, let's start this thing up. It's a good start. Let's bring it down to like 1200 RPM, something like that. And we will slowly see the oil temperature rising. Oil pressure is in green, so that's good. Man, this brings back my GA flying memories. Okay, so I think we are at Key West, so I'm going to bring up the meta report on the other side here. What's Key West ICAO? I'm going to leave it at 1200 RPM just to keep it warmed up. ICAO is KEYW. Okay, let's look for the meta report. KEYW. Load. So we have 110 at 7 and altimeter is 3003. So we're going to set that up. 3003. Actually, it was almost set pretty good. Okay. Okay, I think we have good oil temperature here, so we can bring it back to maybe like close to like 1000 RPM. Don't need to keep it running that high. And since we are going to be here for a while, I'm going to reduce my mixture just a tad bit so that we don't foul up the spark plugs. Because if you keep running full mixture with low power setting, that's when you get your spark plugs fouled. P2 says, hey guys, it's my bedtime, so I'm gonna log off. See you all on the next one. Yup, see you, man. I'm gonna join your Discord as well so that we can stay connected. So where was I here? Oil pressure, throttle half open. Okay, starting engine when hot, this doesn't matter. Starting engine when flooded, it's all good. All of this is good. Taxiing. Chokes removed, taxi area, throttle apply slowly. Okay, so I think all we need to do here is cancel this, chokes, tie downs, remove, and then we can also turn on the avionics now. Alternator can go on, so now we are pulling power off of the alternator, not the battery, for everything that we are running. Transponder can go on. Is this really my avionics switch? I'm wondering if this is actually my... Let's see. It is avionics power. Why is the avionics power not powering then? Are we flying blind today? Oh, there you go. Maybe I had to just flip through this. Okay, let's keep prepping. Anti-collision lights on. Landing lights on. We'll keep the fuel pump on until 1000 feet. And then let me just verify the takeoff speeds and stuff, because I'm used to a 172 and maybe this one has a different takeoff speed. Accelerate to 45 to 55, so okay, it's very similar. And then let's look at maybe soft field. So 52, roughly 52 is what our landing speeds are. Okay, I think that's all we needed pretty much. So enter here, and let me revise a little bit on how the autopilot works. So you turn this on, and you set your heading, nav, approach, and rev. I think this is only for your altitude. And this screw, by the way, they've added this as a thing to like reset your heading bug to whatever your current heading is. So okay, I think we are decently situated. So let's get this going. this exactly to 0. By the way, when you don't have your altimeter setting, this is how we do it in real world. Just let it, just change the altimeter setting until a point where you have 0 altitude. That will give you your current altimeter setting. Okay, let's check it from the outside, make sure everything is good, clear. Yep, all good. Let's check and make sure we're getting good frame rates. 120, that's my cap, so that's good as well. Pretty good performance. Okay, I think we are good to release the parking brake and get out of here. And before takeoff, we need to make sure that you push the mixture up to full, because you don't want to take off with low mixture setting. I'm not sure which runway we are taking. Left crosswind, tailwind. Let's see. Once we turn, a tailwind of 10 knots in this position, so that means, yeah, we'll be taking that runway. So that's good. That's what I was thinking about. So taxiing actually feels decent on this. Not bad at all. Like, the amount of power that's required on these kind of airplanes to taxi it at this speed, it seems very accurate. Not bad at all. Because I am at roughly what, 900 RPM? Yeah, and it's going. This is what it takes even on a 172. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this airplane performs. Actually, you'd be surprised to know that it is more difficult to fly in the sim than actually flying in real world. It's way more difficult in sim. Like, I have a very hard time on GA airplanes on sim, but then in real world it's amazing. It's very easy to maintain altitude because you just have that much control of the trim, which reminds me I need to push the trim sensitivity just a tad bit high. Maybe somewhere here. Yeah, that's good. Okay, mixture is now set to full. Let's get out of here. So we're going to fly north. And why is the brightness so low on this thing? Not sure why the brightness is so low, but anyway, let me zoom out. So we are going to fly wait, did I spawn at some random? Okay, no, it's fine. Okay, so we are going to fly towards, basically just going VFR towards Miami. So we'll keep the screen this way, and let's see, maybe our heading is going to be somewhere between north and south. So we should fly odd plus 500. So we can do like 5,500 as our cruising altitude and go from there. Okay, I'm going to keep the yoke disabled on this side because it's hard to see what my engine is doing if I keep the yoke on this side. Let's get out of here. Let's see how this airplane feels. I'm excited because I have a reference to real world Cessna 172. Very nice. There's 55. Keep putting some back pressure. And keep the nose up to maybe leave it at 75 knots. That felt really good. that really felt good. Okay, I'm trimming up now to release the back pressure on my yoke. Trim doesn't feel as realistic, but then I can always edit my trim sensitivity through the EFB, so that's not very bad. We should actually be running 2000 here. Yeah, trim doesn't feel amazing. Like, I should be able to trim this easily. Okay, I think now I got it. Okay, now I got it. So I just had to use a lot of trim. So again, stable 75 knots feels amazing. Like, very, very stable. And we are going to keep climbing until we hit 5500. And pretty much going VFR here. So we'll follow these islands up to Miami. We have this GPS on. Let me verify, make sure that my TLOD is high. I can pretty much run 300 on GA. Don't need to mess with the landing gears here because this is Warrior, it's not Arrow. And I'm having to constantly keep my right rudder in. That's also very realistic because that's one of the things that you should do. You should have to do more when you're climbing, is to have a lot of right rudder input. So that's really good. I'm feeling a little bit of turbulence. Again, very realistic. So far, I think this airplane, I think they've really nailed this airplane. Like, it feels very good in the air. Exactly like the real thing. I'm having to keep the right rudder in still because we are climbing at a low speed. So whenever you are at lower speed and higher climb rate, that's when you need the most right rudder. I'm gonna turn down the sim sounds just a tad bit since we are already cruising. Again, having to put a little bit of, and then like you see, as we climb up, the performance goes down, so we'll not get as much of a climb rate at 75 knots as we were getting at like sea level. Now we are at 3000, so anything above 4000, I think you start reducing your mixture to, you know, maybe like 80% to get the peak RPM. That's amazing. Let me reset my heading here. And I think at this point, maybe we should just get to the cruise altitude and then mess with the autopilot. But very stable. Look at that. I'm able to hold 75 knots so easily. I did not expect this. Like I was saying before takeoff, right? It's very easy to do this in real world. But the fact that I'm able to do it this easily in the sim, it means that this aircraft is something. By the way, for anyone who's watching and wondering why the title of the video is Fenix A320 but I'm actually flying PA-28, that's because our sim crashed. I was doing a DCA to Boston flight and the sim crashed. So definitely SU2 is not very stable right now. Someone said in chat, Loopson said in chat that it might be auto FPS. It totally can be. So maybe next time we do a stream, I'll not keep auto FPS on. Okay, so we are at 4000. I think it's time to start getting the mixture out a tad bit. Again, still doing 75 knots stable. I'm really happy with how easy it was to trim it out to 75 knots. And I am not touching my yoke at all. I'm just giving a little bit of aileron input to the right, that's all. It's able to maintain 75 knots stable on its own. We still have 1000 feet to go. Dang it, it's already 11 p.m. I might not be able to finish the full flight to Miami. You know what? Let's just do some maneuvers and land before it gets too late for me. So I'm gonna take a left turn back to Key West, because Miami is going to be a long flight if I do it right now. It's already too late for me. So we're going to just go visual back to Key West. Again, able to really maintain the speed while turning, so that's beautiful. And I see Key West there. So what I'm gonna do is push the mixture to max, keep the throttle controlled, and we'll just fly this down back to Key West and see how it lands. I think that'll be a fun thing to do instead of going to Miami, where there'll be a bunch of cruise time. Let's start descending. We'll go downwind here. We'll join maybe like 45 downwind. Let's get the RPM down, and I don't think in this airplane you need to do carb heat until you get to like really low RPMs, but I'll have to read the manual, because on Cessna the green range is only up to 1500. So if you go lower than 1500 RPM, then you have to do turn on carb heat. Otherwise you might see carburetor icing, and that's one of the most common things that people struggle with, is having carb icing. At least that's what my instructor told me. So whenever you're doing maneuvers where you have to go low throttle, always make sure that you have your carb heat in. I think we can pretty much cut the throttle and just descend, because we are getting close to downwind here, and I want to make sure that I am at the pattern altitude, which should be 1000 feet, since the runway altitude was 0 feet, right? Sea level. Okay, I'm gonna do some side slip, see how that feels. So full right rudder and a little bit of left aileron. You see how we are losing a lot of altitude now without gaining a whole lot of speed. So that's when you use side slip, when you're too high on your approach and you want to just quickly lose some altitude. This feels really good. This feels exactly like the real 172. Although it's a different airplane, I bet like even the Warrior doesn't feel that much different from 172. It will feel different when you land, because the wings are a little closer to your to the ground, so it will have more impact of the ground effect compared to a 172. So basically you will have more lift when you get closer to the ground. So that part will feel a little bit different. Should have put on the track IR. Yeah, I think we can go up on throttle now. We are at 1000 feet. I think it is time to dump at least one notch of flaps in, and our landing speed is roughly 55 knots, so that's what we'll maintain or try to maintain. I haven't landed this airplane before, so okay, time to go flaps 2, and we'll really start needing more throttle as we put in the flaps because of the increased drag. trimming it up so that I don't have to keep pulling up so hard. And then flaps 3, I think let's prep early, get down. We'll get down on the glide slope when we get closer, because I'm sure this airplane doesn't have any problem slowing down and keeping the ball centered with the rudder. The speed is dropping down a little too much. I think that's because we were kind of side slipping a tad bit, getting back on the runway. And now we'll do a sterile cockpit and just focus on landing. Full flaps, check. A little bit high, but that's fine. Better than being too low. Kind of gusty. Okay, runway is made. Slowly get rid of the throttle here. Not the best landing, but that'll do. Still keeping some back pressure so that we don't slam the nose wheel down or put too much pressure on it. Leaving it now. And flaps up. That felt really good. One thing I would say is the pitch is a little too sensitive. Like during landing, like I was not able to have a fine control of the flare. And like I said before, right, since this is low wing, it definitely feels like the ground effect has more impact. Like you'll feel more air packed below your airplane. So it definitely felt that way. Like you saw that I floated just a little bit and then I had to just put it down. Because I have the tendency to flare according to a 172, but then this feels a little different because of, you know, you just have to have a very fine control of the flare. And maybe I haven't flown a PA-28 Warrior in real life, so maybe I'm wrong there, but I just felt like the pitch control is a little too sensitive, even though I have my sensitivities turned down by 20%. It is a tad bit sensitive, but overall I'll say that in terms of roll and stuff like that, in terms of maintaining speeds, it's perfect. It's a really good general aviation aircraft. I would say this is the first GA aircraft that has natively released for 2024. I know Comanche works just fine, but this is the first one that was a native release. So definitely a really good buy. Also, they came up with a free upgrade for all the current owners. So not like some companies where they're charging for an upgrade to 2024. This is actually a free upgrade. So that's amazing. It performs very well. Everything seems nice and refined. I've still not been able to get the TDS GTN XI working for this airplane, but maybe I'll mess with that tomorrow and figure out something. This was a lot of fun actually to fly. Maybe we should do more general aviation streams with someone else flying with me. Yes, let's park it right here. don't need to be perfect. And then shutdown process, we will just turn off the avionics first, set the parking brakes, turn off all the lights, and then what else is on here? I think that's it. Turn off the alternator, and then cut the throttle, cut the mixture, ignition switch to off, and battery switch to off. And we'll go here and attach the tie downs and put on the wheel chocks, and then control locks, control wheel locks. I don't think we have control wheel locks on this airplane. Yeah, look at this beauty. That was a nice little GA flight. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. I think that's it for today's stream. Sorry that the sim crashed, but I'll definitely be back with another stream or another video or something this weekend, because I'm planning to record some sim update 2 stuff. I was actually thinking of recording a whole separate video for this PA-28 Aero 3, but I guess maybe I can still do that. Maybe I'll still do that, because this definitely deserves its own video. I don't know if, I think a lot of people haven't, a lot of YouTubers haven't paid attention to this. I saw one British Av Geeks video on this airplane, and then Island Sim Pilot did one, but it is definitely not getting the attention that it deserves, especially for being a free upgrade. I think Just Flight really deserves some applaud and attention on this for this add-on. So I'll just make a whole separate video about this, maybe do a circuit and demonstrate the capability of this aircraft, and then we'll also definitely try the Fenix again with Sim Update 2, but this time we'll not run auto FPS. So thank you all for tuning in. It was actually a very interactive stream. I wasn't expecting these many people to show up. Owlsy FS showed up today, so that's a big one. And thanks to P2 Simviation, Loopson, Harshit, and who else was there here? Captain Rona, Fly with TY. Thanks to all of you for keeping the stream alive. And I will see you guys on the next one.